Okay, camera rolling.
Good evening, my name is Angus Lamont and I am the producer of the film you're about to watch called 71. I am not, as it may appear, in jail. I'm on the set of another film we're shooting just now in Birmingham in England, a film called She Who Brings Gifts starring Glenn Close, but that's one for another screening, I hope. For now I've been asked by Andy Guyerson to give the Winchester Film Club a bit of an insight into how we came up with the idea for 71. And what I would say is it's an idea I'd had for a long time. I had a friend my best friend at school, who joined the army when he was 15, and 3 or 4 years later, when myself and all of his friends were still at school taking our exams, he'd been to Northern Ireland 3 or 4 tours, he'd been to Cyprus, he'd been all over the world, and I'd always thought it was very interesting that people of his young age were given such responsibility in terms of going into very dangerous situations. So that had always been something that was on my mind about, young soldiers and how they deal with conflict. I was also interested in the very early days of the Northern Ireland Troubles, because I had always remembered that the period from 1969 through to 72 was quite different in its characterisation from how we thought about the Troubles in Northern Ireland later, from the mid-70s onwards. So it had always been an area that fascinated me. It was in black and white. It was almost like the difference between black and white history and colour history. A lot of the newsreels we saw were black and white. The uniforms of the soldiers were different from what we came to know them later. And what I was fascinated by was the fact that the sectarian part of the Troubles was not understood in the rest of the UK. So it was a strange situation for soldiers going from Britain, where the environment looked exactly the same as Belfast, the same streets, the same houses, same shops, the same cars. But in actual fact they were going into a completely alien landscape. They might as well have been getting sent to fight on Mars or in the jungle. So even though it looked familiar, it was completely different, completely deadly. And I wanted to bring all that together through a relatively straightforward genre story of a young soldier who's adrift in that strange environment and is allowed to shoot, and is forced to survive one long night. So quite conventional structure, but I hope the film gives some insight into that period and remains still exciting and visceral. I hope you enjoy it.